The world's biggest full-ride scholarships transform the lives of thousands of young people every single year. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at 13 of the biggest full-ride scholarships in the world. I've personally applied for many of them, I've been finalist for multiple, and I recently won a few of them to help fund my studies at Harvard University later this year. So if you want to pursue your studies without the financial burden, then this video is for you. All the scholarship links are in the description, along with the Google Drive link of my application materials. Let's get into it. The Rhodes Scholarship. We have to start with the Rhodes Scholarship because it's the most prestigious scholarship in the entire world. Available to 120 young leaders every single year, it's a full-ride scholarship and it will fund you a double master's degree or PhD at Oxford University. It covers tuition, gives you a generous living stipend, flights, and it gives you access to the prestigious Rhodes Alumni Network, which has past presidents, Nobel Prize winners, everyone and anyone who has been a part of the Rhodes Scholarship program. The only catch is that you have to be under 25 years old to apply. I was a finalist for it last year and I'll be applying again this year, so if you want advice on how to succeed in that scholarship, check out this video below. Next up is the Frank Knox Memorial Fellowship, which is the scholarship that I recently won. It's a full-ride scholarship that allows you to study any master's degree or PhD program at any Harvard graduate school that you desire. Every year, 25 people from across the globe are selected for this prestigious fellowship, and it pays for your tuition, health insurance, and it also gives you a very generous $35,000 USD living stipend. There's only a short application and there's no interview for it, so I highly recommend checking that one out. Third on our list is the Hennessy Scholarship, which is like the Rhodes Scholarship of Stanford. It's an insanely prestigious full-ride scholarship that funds your Stanford master's degree, PhD program, or both if you're up for it. In addition, you'll get to live at the Hennessy house on the Stanford campus, and you'll have access to one of the most prestigious alumni networks on the planet. 100 scholarships are available every single year, and it is an insanely competitive process. Roughly 4,000 people apply every single year. The top 200 are then flown to Stanford for an immersion weekend, and 100 young leaders are selected to pursue their degree programs at Stanford University. Next up is the Fulbright Scholarship, which is arguably the most popular scholarship exchange program to the US in the world. The scholarship value varies anywhere between $30,000 and $500,000 depending on who is sponsoring the award. So it's really important that you check the value of the scholarship for the category that you're applying for. The unique part about this scholarship is it's heavily focused on forming cross-cultural exchanges and bilateral partnerships between countries, so it's a very unique value that if you align with, I highly recommend applying for. I was also a finalist for it last year, so here's my experience applying for the application and doing the interview. Our fifth one on the list is the Clarendon Scholarship, which is very similar to the Rhodes Scholarship, except it's not as well known. The Clarendon Scholarship is offered to 200 people every single year. Like the Rhodes, it's a full-ride scholarship with a living stipend, allows you to stay at the Oxford colleges and study any degree program at Oxford University, either that be a master's or PhD program. What's great about the Clarendon Scholarship is that you're automatically considered for it when you apply for Oxford's master's degrees or PhD programs. They just take the 200 best students from all the applicant pools. The bad news about that is it means that you can't submit a separate application or do interviews in order to improve your chances. Sticking to the UK vein, our sixth scholarship is the Chevening Scholarship, which enables young leaders from all across the world to pursue a one-year master's program at any UK institution. So that can include Oxford and Cambridge, most likely. The scholarship is awarded to more than 1,500 people every single year, making it the most accessible scholarship out of everything that we've explored here today, and it fully covers your master's degree, living expenses, flights. You guys get the gist. This is a really good one to apply for and arguably less competitive than a lot of the other ones that we've been looking at. Speaking of one that's insanely competitive, the Harvard University MBA Scholarship is really up there in regards to competitiveness. The Harvard MBA program is without a doubt one of the most prestigious business programs in the entire world. Its name is recognized everywhere, it gets referenced in movies, and the Harvard MBA Scholarship provides you with about $100,000 USD in funding every single year to help cover tuition, living expenses, etc., etc. The only problem is this scholarship is highly selective and it's only available to a few people every single application cycle. So I would highly recommend just maybe putting this one on the back burner and trying to pursue it when you're roughly like 28 or older, I would say. Now let's touch on the hallmark MBA scholarship at Oxford University, which is the Skoll Scholarship. The Skoll Scholarship is awarded to 5 individuals every single year to pursue their MBA at Oxford. It's a fully funded degree, and that means it's worth around £85,000 every single year, which is an insane amount of money, and you're studying again at one of the best business schools in the world. The unique part about this scholarship is that it's focused on people who are really trying to address social challenges back in their country, rather than just trying to do an MBA to move up the corporate ladder. So you've got to have a social vision, you've got to have a vision for transforming your country with this MBA program. Again, it's a really difficult one to get, so probably something you want to save for later in your career when you're 28 years, 25 years or older, I would probably say. Coming back down to earth, the next one is the Quad Fellowship. So the Quad Fellowship offers 100 scholarships every single year for the next generation of STEM leaders. So you have to be in the field of STEM specifically. 25 scholarships are available from each Quad country. So those are Australia, Japan, India, and the United States. And it's worth $40,000 to help fund your studies. This is one that I recently had my final round interview for, and I should find out this month whether or not I've been successful with it. So I'll keep you posted on that. And it's one that I highly recommend applying for, because it is such a good opportunity for network building and working with STEM leaders who are dedicated to driving social change in their countries. At lucky number 10, we have the Schwarzman Scholarship. Now, the Schwarzman Scholarship is a slightly different vibe because it funds a 1-year master's degree in one of the top universities in Beijing. It covers tuition, board, living expenses, health insurance, flights, and everything that you need, and it gives you access to a really cool network of global leaders committed to understanding how China has an impact on global trends at large. There's over 200 scholarships available every single year, and relative to a lot of the other ones that we've explored, I think it's a lot less competitive, so I would highly recommend applying for that one if you want to do your master's degree in Beijing. Okay, now we're really switching it up because I want to talk about the O'Shaughnessy Fellowship, which is one of the coolest fellowships I think available in the entire world. The O'Shaughnessy Fellowship is a 1-year program for people wanting to make a serious mark on the world with their crazy ideas. Fellows receive $100,000 a year to work on any project they choose from, and they get support from the O'Shaughnessy Fellowship network and get connected with all the leaders in their field so that they can bring their idea into reality. This was one that I applied for late last year, and I had my first round interview earlier this year. It didn't go the way that I'd hoped, but it's something that you can apply for every single year. So it's one that I'm going to keep applying for, and I highly recommend if you're an entrepreneur, a filmmaker, any kind of creative mind, this is one that you should start applying for and just apply for every single year until hopefully you win it. At number 12 is the Harvard Committee on General Scholarships. Now, this isn't a specific scholarship, it's rather a platform in which you can find specific scholarships to Harvard University for your constituency. Basically, it's just a great place for you to find Harvard scholarships for your relevant country. For me personally, in Australia, this allowed me to discover that the Frank Knox Memorial Fellowship was a thing, and that was the Fulbright Scholarship that I won to Harvard. I wasn't expecting to win it, but I'm really glad that I put forth my application because it's been life-changing for me. So highly recommend you check out that website as well. And then finally, I want to talk about travel fellowships. Most importantly, the Churchill Fellowship and the Westpac Fellowship. So the Churchill Fellowship and Westpac Fellowship are Australia-based, and they're worth about $50,000, and they fund a year's worth of personal development. Now, this can range from taking short courses at Oxford University or Harvard University, or it can be international study tours to a list of 10 countries with world leaders in your field that you want to connect with. These are really cool opportunities that I've been trying to apply for and receive because they allow you to expand your horizons through travel and through networking. And whilst these are Australia specific, they are a pretty tokenistic idea that extend across most countries. So definitely look for these types of fellowships in your relevant country. If they exist in Australia, they're definitely going to exist in a lot bigger countries around the world. So that's going to conclude this video. I really hope that across these 13 scholarships, you've found one or two that stand out to you. Personally, for me, I've applied for so many of these, and all of them are bucket list items for me, especially the MBA programs, one I want to be able to build up to that one day once I'm older. I highly recommend checking out all the links in the description, checking out the Google Drive, and I wish you guys all the best in navigating these really prestigious scholarships. Just remember, they're super difficult, but once you get one done, each one becomes progressively easier, and good luck.